Hello, I'm Matt,
Hey, and I'm Luke.
and we are the founders of the People's Champion International. Thank you for viewing and subscribing to our YouTube channel and podcast at People's Champion International. We appreciate your insights and comments. You can reach out to us on email as well at peopleschampionsinternational@gmail.com. All right, so welcome to round 5 as we are elevating what people can do while discussing the impacts of artificial intelligence on our lives. And so today we have a special round because we had a request from a subscriber, which we're very excited about, as they wanted us to dive a little bit more into ChatGPT. And we understand the tech world or the AI world that ChatGPT may be old news, but for the average person, there's a lot of us that don't know a whole lot about it. And so we're going to focus a little bit of time on that today and then dive right in. And so we want to talk about how it can benefit society and the potential challenges it poses to humanity. And so, Luke, what did ChatGPT say it is?
Yeah, so I think that, we took a little bit of an interesting spin this week. We have, in past weeks talked about kind of our thoughts on where this could go and what the risks are. And this time it was like, hey, if the topic's ChatGPT, we could flat out ask ChatGPT what it is and what its pros and cons are. And so this is what we did that, and it kicked back out. It basically said that ChatGPT is an AI language model developed by OpenAI and powered by the GP3 architecture. It's designed to understand and generate human-like text based on the input it receives. Okay. In simpler terms, it is a text-based conversational AI that can simulate human conversation. So it further learns through pre-training as ChatGPT is exposed to a massive amount of text data from the internet. I think I read something like 175 million sources for ChatGPT, the free version, and the GPT-4, it's billions of sources. So it's got just an immense database of knowledge. Then from there, it tries to understand the structure and the patterns in language, what words come usually after this word, and then pulls in that knowledge and then can create a conversation based on that. So it goes through the fine tuning after that pre-training of just downloading all the information. The model is further refined through a process called fine tuning, which involves training the model on a more specific data set with human reviewers. So humans then review the content. These reviewers may include aspects like avoiding politically biased content or refraining from generating harmful content. ChatGPT's ability to generate responses is based on the patterns and associations it learned during these two phases. It can generate relevant responses because it has absorbed a vast amount of text from various sources and has been fine-tuned to produce desired outputs. So it tells us that it's been fine-tuned to produce desired outputs. Desired by who? But anyway, however, this is still from ChatGPT. It's essential to note that while ChatGPT can generate human-like text, it doesn't possess true understanding or consciousness. Its responses are based on patterns in the data it was trained on, and it doesn't have real-world experiences or emotions. It's a tool that can simulate conversation and provide helpful responses, but it is not a sentient being. That's the description it gave me.
Wow, that's fascinating. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. All right. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to explore how ChatGPT can potentially impact people in a positive way.
Yeah, so we put in the pros and cons. I might just pop up the screen and actually show it for people that haven't used it before. So if you give me a minute.
Okay.
Let's see here. All right, here is ChatGPT in the flesh. If you haven't seen it before, you can see where you can type in, send a message, and it provides content back. So here's what it said.
Yeah, so we asked ChatGPT how it can potentially impact people in a positive way, and it came up with 5 responses. And the first one, as you can see there, is enhancing customer support. And so companies can use ChatGPT to provide instant and efficient customer responses and improving user experiences. So that is positive. That'd be great to have. You can also do content generation. And so content creators can generate drafts and ideas and articles and save time. We could potentially use it for our podcast, but we don't. We're really making the human element a priority in what we do. But language
we did a little
translation
bit this time, though. Yeah,
a little bit this time, obviously. But that was part of the subscriber request, which we're honoring and we're excited to do. Language translation. Hey, that's cool. So it breaks down language barriers. I mean, I think that's fantastic because I only know English, so I'm just going to admit that. So if it helped me to learn other languages or break down that barrier, I'm all for it. Personalized learning, education, which is important to a lot of folks out there, including us, is that, it can have a personalized lessons plan or develop those, helping students understand concepts more easily and where they're at. And I think that is a positive attribute to communicate and relay as well. And then finally, it referred, itself as being accessible. So it's a valuable tool for individuals with disabilities, as it can be used to create text-to-speech systems facilitating communication. And, we're talking about elevating humanity and enhancing communication. So these are some great benefits and features, and attributes that ChatGPT does bring to the table.
Yeah. And thanks for sharing and going over that. And like we've said, we're not against it. And I think there are some positive things that will come from this. And we want to take advantage of those and help people. If it helps people, that's what it's all about. So, while we asked about the pros and what is the upside of ChatGPT, we also said, hey, ChatGPT, what are the potential cons or risk as it pertains to humanity? And so here's what it said. While the benefits of ChatGPT are impressive, it's essential to discuss the potential downsides and challenges it brings. Misinformation. And again, this just blows my mind that ChatGPT is telling us this. Misinformation. ChatGPT can generate misleading or false information if not properly supervised, which can contribute to the spread of misinformation and fake news. Well, who's supervising it, and what are their political biases? What are their personal biases? That's the concern. Job displacement. As AI, like ChatGPT, becomes more capable, it raises concerns about job displacement, particularly in customer support, content creation, and translation services. Ethical concerns. The technology can be used unethically, such as in deep fakes or for spreading hate speech, emphasizing the need for strong ethical guidelines. So those guidelines, again, that's kind of what we've been calling for is for everybody that's viewing this, as you talk to your friends, and hopefully the word spreads that we need to demand legislation to protect us from these things, because it can really have a rapid impact, as we've seen. Lastly, two more things. Dependence on AI. Over-reliance on AI for decision-making can erode critical thinking skills and human judgment, potentially leading to unintended consequences. And I think back to schooling, some of those things that we learned that we said, we're never going to use this again. And it was right. But what we didn't realize is we were using our brains to solve problems. And that was just teaching us to critically think through solutions. And if now all of a sudden everybody's just running to type in what's the answer, then we're not going to really be developing ourselves or enhancing our brain or our knowledge. And last but not least, the privacy concerns. The vast amount of data required to train models like ChatGPT can pose significant privacy risks if mishandled or exploited. So ChatGPT says, here's what you need to be worried about with ChatGPT and AI.
Yeah, that's impressive that it stated this about itself. And the one thing that I find very amazing, Luke, is that, and I want to make sure that our viewers and subscribers and our listeners know this, is that its responses tie in extremely well with our purpose, mission, and vision that we articulated during round one in our description and during the podcast. I cannot believe how well it aligns. And people, I'm looking at you right now, just letting you know that we did not, type this in advance, several weeks ago or 2 months ago when we started this. We came up with the purpose, mission, and vision in advance of all this. And if you go back and read that, if we go back and read that and view that, you'll see that it aligns with what ChatGPT is saying is some adversarial concerns. It's amazing.
Agreed. Yeah. And we said in the same podcast that there are some pros and there's some good utilities, and that we're not against AI. And it said that too. There are some applications where we find it beneficial, but we do need to make sure that we are protecting people. And it called itself out on that right there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we thank you to our subscriber that submitted this request. We were glad to do it for you and for all peoples that are subscribing and viewing. And so with that, we're going to wrap it up for this podcast. And people, we have so much to talk about, and the media will not and cannot cover it all. And so we need you, people, not AI, to stand with us, no matter where you're from, whether it's here in the U.S. or international, to contribute and promote what we're talking about. So we want to hear from you. We need your stories about how people, businesses, or governments are utilizing artificial intelligence in a positive way that's benefiting society, or an adversarial way, so that we can hold them accountable.
It's absolutely right. So with that said, please feel free to contact us, as always, at peopleschampioninternational@gmail.com. We love if you would add comments below. That's a great way to reach us, or anywhere on our YouTube channel at People's Champions International. And we've got more engaging content coming weekly, and we're looking forward to continuing to host more guests as well.
Yes, absolutely. Just to reinforce what Luke was saying, if you're interested in being a guest, just reach out and let us know what your topic is or your credentials are. We just need to understand your story, and we need to vet that to make sure it's appropriate content for our podcast. And so from there, we'll determine if it's the right fit. So until round 6, thank you for viewing and subscribing. Be well.
Be well.